At what point do ADCs get to have agency and be demons to fight like every other role? Almost any champ in top, mid, or jungle, if they can get a 16 kill lead, 9 kills, or hell, even 5 kills, they turn into a raid boss, and you have to send at least half of your team to be able to deal with them. Even some supports are able to win 1v1s if they get just 5 kills. ADCs though, anybody can 1v1 you at any point in the game, no matter how far behind they are. In this Corki game, I end up getting a 7 kill lead before 14 minutes while only dying twice. If I get caught out by 2 people, I get it. J4 and Yorick catch me in the tri-bush. But since I've accrued a lead in the bot lane, I get a bounty. And having died to Yorick, he now is caught up in gold and dominates us from minute 18 to minute 20. He goes on a tear through our team. The level of perfection that is asked of ADCs is just not even considered when it comes to any other champion. Because any other champion can win a 1v3, maybe even a 1v4, if they have the same amount of gold that an ADC gets. Even though that I'm doing well in some of these fights, like we're coming out ahead, 3 of them down, we even get a full ace and get the Baron Nashor, we aren't able to close out the game because I lost my bounty 1 time. I still get 1v1 by J4. I can't do anything to the Yorick because he's so impossibly tanky. I just can't churn through his HP. Even though I have 11 kills, I can't fight anybody on the enemy team by myself. Yeah, maybe I could itemize somewhat defensively, but my options are just so limited compared to every other role. Every bruiser item gets them health and AD, so they naturally just become more difficult to kill. Mages pump out an absurd level of damage, and if they need to buy defensive items, they get a spell shield and a healthy amount of magic resistance. Or they can get access to stasis and a solid amount of armor and AP. ADCs have to make sacrifices when we try to build defensively. If you need a spell shield, you lose out on attack speed and crit. You need armor, you're going to get less AD than if you've bought another item. Have to pay the QSS tax. You get so little MR, and the full item stats are so minuscule for an item that requires you to have skill to be able to use it. It's an ocean in terms of how the roles are designed. ADCs are stuck in the kiddie pool, having to abide by the whims of the team, while everybody else gets to go on grand adventures and come back richer than you can imagine. 2 of the people on my team barely dealt more damage than Mundo had tanked. And there's a good chance that he healed more than my entire team combined. I'm gonna scroll up, show you another game. This is a Samira game where I get a pretty good lead in bot again. So, this game, we end up getting 6 kills in bot lane before 14 minutes. Pretty decent, you know. I have a solid set of items and collector and shield bow by the time that I try to fight the 2 and 4 Vladimir, who has been zoned off of wave for most of the early game. Can't even do that. I cannot 1v1 the 2 and 4 Vladimir, who has very little CS. And since I have a lead in bot lane, he gets a bounty, and from then on out, he just runs me down. And there's nothing I can do. Ma Malmortius is locked away from me because I wanted to have the crit strike and immortal shield bow, and that would give me a little bit of survivability being able to play defensively. And as you can see, enemy team has Garen, Vi, Mila, all auto attack reliant champions, so I have plated steel caps. Even then, Vladimir is the biggest problem, who has been a non-factor in the early game, who's gotten completely cooked. But since I lost 1 bounty to him, he is now caught up and just gets to make me hate existing for the rest of the game. Now this is a game where it's like, oh, you did fairly well. Why is this game bad? The only reason we won this game is because Nasus did not wither me in multiple team fights. So I just got to run away damaging the enemy team. If he withers me, LeBlanc or Kane gets to easily kill me. Tom Kench is set up so free on his W. And since Tom Kench is Tom Kench, he just kills an ADC as soon as he gets on them, no matter what. And it's almost impossible to dodge his tongue because of the Heartsteel size, increasing the size of the hitbox. It is so disheartening when an opponent making a misplay that is a simple point-and-click ability is the only reason you win the game. They were winning a lot of these fights early on, and in the mid-game, I started to turn online. They were able to get the Lux with the double assassins, as they should, but since Nasus didn't wither me, I clean up the fight. Right, I got one more game to show here. This one is the worst one out of them all. I have a 16 kill lead bot. I've gotten my Yuntal and Muramana stacked, and I also paid the QSS tax. I even bought the full item because I was sitting on so much gold because I needed to counter Lilia and Swain. I figured, why not, right? I go top lane to try and fight this 4 kill, 1.5 item Zac, who only has Heartsteel, Balmy Cinder, Chain Vest, and Merc Treads. Now, in this fight, I do miss one auto opportunity and a little bit of my E damage, but even with a completed 3 items and boots, and 2 of the items fully stacked, I cannot fight the 1.5 item Zac. Again, since I have a bounty, he gets that bounty, becomes unkillable because his items are just so much more effective than an ADC's items, and we cannot win the game. He ends up healing 114,000 damage at the end of the game total, and he's also taken 93,000 damage. My entire team's damage numbers combined do not add up to how much damage that champion took. If you pause the video to check out some of the games where it's like, oh, you have, you only died once or twice here, or you have double-digit kills and you're in a really winning position. It's also flex games, and it's really difficult for me to get people at Emerald and Flex to play with, so we have to play with the skill disparity. And that also goes for the enemy team, so they have certain weak links that we're able to abuse. Another thing, enemy team didn't have a tank. If there's not a tank on the enemy team, people get chunked by other roles, and I just play cleanup crew. I never feel like I'm able to outplay my opponents, no matter how big the lead I get in bot lane is. They have such an easy time being able to access me with how many mobility options are in the game, and no matter what level my lead is at, I cannot outdamage them. I explode, enemy gets my bounty, and since their items combine offense and defense, whatever lead I had evaporates, and I feel punished for simply existing. It'd be nice for ADCs to be freed from team reliance if they're able to get some kind of lead. Because every champ being like old Kalista at every stage of the game, no matter what your scoreline is not a way for the role to exist. At what point should an ADC be strong? 5 kills? 9 kills? Because even at 16 kills, they feel worthless. And it boggles the mind that we're designed to be like that.